Okay, I'd like to call to order the joint board meeting between Western Lane Fire and EMS Authority, Scioto Valley Fire and Rescue, Western Lane Ambulance District. Would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Holly, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes. Directors for Western Lane Ambulance, Director Murphy,
Here.
Director Russell. Here. Director Webb,
Here.
Director Holbrook,
Here.
Director Buss. For SVFR, Directors Mandola,
Here.
Director Polisi, Director Spade,
Here.
Director Heppel,
Present.
Director Burns.
Yes.
For WLAD, Director Murphy,
Here.
Director Spade,
Here.
Director Webb,
Yes.
and Director Polisi.
Okay, we have quorums of all three agencies. And now we're going to swear in the new firefighters, and then we'll be right back for you, Kylie. I have to go to the other room here. Okay. Thank you. So raise your right hand, so repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter for Scioto Valley Fire and Rescue to the best of my ability.
Do solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter for Scioto Valley Fire and Rescue to the best of my ability.
To serve my commanding officers with respect and loyalty.
To serve my commanding officers with respect and loyalty.
To serve the citizens of our community with compassion, courage, and integrity.
To serve the citizens of our community with compassion, courage, and integrity.
To represent my fire department and community with honor and dignity, both on and off duty.
To represent my fire department and community with honor and dignity, both on and off duty.
And to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the state of Oregon, and the communities we protect.
And to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the state of Oregon, and the communities we protect.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. So we're going to be pinned now. Go ahead.
All going at once.
We do it one at a time.
Thank you, Holly.
You're welcome.
I smiled over it.
Except you're welcome to stick around, or the rest of the meeting is downhill from here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Come on, gentlemen.
Thank you, Holly.
Okay, Kylie, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you stand and raise your right hand? I state your name.
I, Kylie Weiser,
Do solemnly swear to do my duty as a paramedic for Western Lane Ambulance District to the best of my ability,
do solemnly swear to do my duty as a paramedic for Western Lane Ambulance District to the best of my ability,
to serve my commanding officers with respect and loyalty,
to serve my commanding officers with respect and loyalty,
to serve the citizens of our community with compassion, courage, and integrity,
to serve the citizens of our community with compassion, courage, and integrity,
to represent my district and community with honor and dignity, both on and off duty,
to represent my district and community with honor and dignity, both on and off duty,
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the state of Oregon, and the communities we protect.
and to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the state of Oregon, and the communities we protect.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations. And you're going to be pinned. Hey, congratulations, Kylie.
Thank you.
We'll see you later, or you can stay. Okay, moving on, we'll move, consent agenda consists of meeting minutes from September 23rd, staff reports and correspondence. Would anybody like to pull anything out of the consent agenda?
Director Spader has a few questions and comments.
On what's in the consent agenda? Would you like to pull something out, Sam?
Yes, I do. I just wanted the question on page 6, Chief, on your report. You talked about that we didn't get the AFG grants for the pumper and also for cardiac monitors. Do we have any plans for getting that by other sources, or what's the plan?
We have been putting money aside, so we have to make those purchases. We've put the monitors off as long as we can. The engine, we may go back again and try the grant one more time. At that point, we thought we'd give it a try, but we're having a pumper tender built right now. So we've got another year before we have to consider replacing an engine. So probably just the monitors we'll go out and purchase anyway.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions. These are a couple of questions for Chief House. He talks in his report on page 8, it says out of district volunteers. Can I get a definition of what specifically that is, or who those people are?
Chief Yao and Trevor Duata, I can never say his last name. They're both volunteers up in Swiss Home Deadwood, but they come back into our district to volunteer with us. We see it as a great opportunity to develop them. So if we have to use mutual aid, we're giving them training and responding with each other. So not a district volunteer is somebody that's not technically in our 100 square mile radius.
Okay, good. I thought it was probably something like that, but I didn't need a clarification on that. And Chief House, another thing on page 9 on your call summary, down about middle of the page here, it says July total call volume. Should that have been September?
It was just a typo. Should have been September.
Okay. Not, I just wanted to make sure we had the record correct there. And then on page 11, you talk about the different zones, zone 1, 10 minutes, zone 2, 20 minutes. Is there also a map that goes from the firehouses out to delineate where those zones are? How's that done, actually?
We do have it mapped out with our ASA required from the Lane County Public Health, Chapter 18. I don't have it available with me right now, but if you want, I can share it next week or next month or next board meeting.
Oh, I'll come in and talk to you sometime and you can just show me if nobody's interested. I was interested in where those times, how far they got out in the community.
Yeah.
Okay. And one other thing too, that letter that Charlie York did, a comparison between Lincoln County and Sayusta, the
Western Lane ambulance.
yeah. I thought that was amazing comparison there. And that's the kind of words that we should have probably gotten out a month ago to the public, those kind of numbers. I think there's really some interesting numbers there. And on the third page, which is page 14, I didn't quite understand what how that table works. For example, the third column there said total calls that meet lane code emergency definition. What it actually is that? Is that of the 2029 464 met the definition for emergency code?
So Lane County Chapter 18 defines the response times, the
Right.
zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I know, I don't have it pulled up with that particular piece that you're talking about is based off of that. So we had 97% in zone 1. That's that 10-minute range. 97% in zone 2. Now, when we talk about Lincoln County, they have a little bit different zones because they're governed by their county. And so I think it's 8 minutes, and then each zone is decreased by 2 minutes.
Right. Okay. I just, I'm gonna get with you sometime and talk about those different columns there, a little bit more explanation on that. That's all I had, Chief, on the consent.
Director Webb has his hand up.
Yeah, I had a quick question. I just wanted, since Sam's already on the response area of Lincoln County comparison to Western Lane, I found it interesting. Just ran a couple of numbers. Lincoln County, they have 5 ambulances. That's what they normally run. And this is excluding Yachats because Yachats is a public entity. But in the 4 service areas, they have 5 ambulances. During the first 3 quarters of the year, they ran 1,179 calls per ambulance, code 3. And within that, they made their compliance 72% of the time. We ran 668 code 3 calls. We normally have 3 ambulances available. So 222 calls per ambulance, roughly. It's a difference in what we invest. And when you're trying to do this for a profit, you get yourself stretched as thin as you can so that you can make as much money as you can. That's where the taxpayer subsidy comes in and then benefits the community with better response time and more availability of apparatus when needed. So that's my comment.
So if all these questions are about calls, I'd like to go ahead and adopt the consent agenda, and then our next item is call volume. So we could certainly have discussions about calls then. Cindy, you've got your hand up, and Alan, you were going to say something. Is it about our call volume?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, I'll go ahead and we'll adopt the consent agenda as printed, and then now we can talk about call volumes. So Cindy, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just wanted to check with Matt. Yachats is all volunteer, is that correct?
You're muted.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yachats has paid staff. I don't know exactly how many they have. I think they have 3 full-time, but that's a educated guess.
Okay, thank you.
Director Burns.
Yeah, the biggest thing I was going to say, Director Webb, you talked about something very interesting to me about comparing Lincoln, Newport, but that's the whole county, isn't it?
It's, if I can add to that, Mike, it's not.
Go right ahead, man.
Each of them, each ambulance service is broken down by an ASA. So like our assigned service area is from here to milepost 29 on Highway 126, County Line.
Correct.
And same thing up north. They have that chart that Charlie broke down. There's 3 different assigned service areas in their county. And yeah, all Pac West is responsible for them.
And that's the thing that interests me, Chief House, is the distance, because in Lane County, you have Florence area, Western Lane Ambulance, then you have Eugene Springfield, Central Lane, then you have Eastern Lane, where Lincoln County is predominantly, the county seat is Newport, and what goes out of that.
Yeah. And Lincoln County they have for-profit on all of Lincoln County, where all of Lane County ALS transports are by public service.
Correct.
For all of Lincoln County, Alan, my point was that they only run 5 ambulances. I think their ASA minimum is 4, but they only run 5 ambulances normally.
Yeah, and that's my point for the county.
Correct.
Correct, and it's for profit except for Yachats. That is fire-based EMS. South Lincoln Ambulance, I think they call them.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. House.
Sure. Any other questions for Chief House? Okay, we'll go on to financials.
Okay. We have received close to $1,000 more in interest revenue for both districts by putting money into the local government investment pool. I did a little chart on my manager report. Siuslaw Valley has received $962 and Western Lane has received $984. And that's because we put that money into the local government investment pool. Unfortunately, the interest rates are going down. When we enrolled in June, the interest rate was 0.6. And in July, it dropped to 0.55. And just a couple weeks ago, it dropped to 0.45. It's still better than what we were, it's still a pretty good interest rate, but I just wanted to make the directors aware of that. We also have a new revenue stream, a new cost recovery revenue stream for Siuslaw Valley Fire. And this is for incidents like motor vehicle accidents that we can bill insurance for. And we're using our billing agency Systems Design, same billing agency we use for Western Lane Ambulance for this. Other than that, expenses are tracking according to budget for the first quarter of the fiscal year. And I would be happy to answer any questions directors might have.
I'm not seeing any hands. Okay. We'll go on. There is no old business, new business. So we wanted to talk about our calendar coming up. So in November, we have 2 meetings scheduled there. On Tuesday, November 16th is the Strategic Plan Steering Committee. And that's a subset of the boards to talk about format of the strategic plan process. And then we also have the joint board meeting is Thursday, November 18th. So we moved it up a week due to Thanksgiving, of course. So that only gives us 3 weeks from now when we'll have that meeting. If that's not a problem, that's fine. We'll have it 3 weeks from now. One thing we would like to, if not at the joint board meeting, is schedule another meeting. We'd like to start with our negotiation work session, just to get formats down, whether or not we want to use an attorney. If we do want to use an attorney, how we want to get an attorney. Do we want a negotiating committee of directors like we did last time? How do you want to select those? And then in December, we'll plan on another work session where we'll talk about bargaining ranges that we want to approach the bargaining table with. With an idea, we'll start maybe January or February with the actual negotiations. So I guess what we're asking is, do we want to meet on November 18th? Do the directors want to meet November 18th, have our regular meeting? And then we'll just go into executive session towards the end of that meeting to talk about some negotiation, laying some negotiating groundwork. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll go ahead, and then the strategic plan steering committee will meet on Tuesday, November 16th. We do have an upcoming meeting, I believe it was December or was it January, for all board, all directors to meet for strategic plan purposes. That's coming up. And
Right, the steering committee, which was, the original steering committee was Director Polisi and Director Burns from Sayusa Valley and Director Murphy and Director Webb from Western Lane, along with Chief House, Chief Schick, and myself. And that is the meeting on November 16th. Lane Council of Governments is also proposing a second meeting for the steering committee on December 9th, which would be the week before the December board meeting of the 16th. And then they propose that the entire boards meet in January to go over the strategic business plan as a whole. And we don't have that date set.
Director Burns, go ahead.
In talking with Director Polisi and myself, I don't think either one of us can make the November 16th meeting.
Okay.
Nor the November 18th meeting.
Okay. So for the strategic plan steering committee, we can reschedule if you have some better availability. I don't know if Jim would, or you can reappoint members to that committee.
I can meet on the 22nd or 23rd, but I think Jim, Mr. Polisi is going to be out for the next 5-6 weeks.
He is, yeah. And I don't know if he can join us by Zoom or not, but okay. We can go back to Elcott.
Believe me, I don't want to meet on the 25th. I'm going to be full, but the 23rd, no problem.
Okay. So Adina, so let's get a hold of Jacob and see if we can reschedule that. So can you meet earlier in November?
Yes, sir. I can meet anytime before the 11th, sir.
Okay.
I have plans between the 11th and the 20th.
Well, let me contact Director Polisi and see what his availability might be. And if he's not available, then I'll contact you and we can talk about appointing a backup.
Okay,
director.
sir. No problem.
Cool. Okay. And then joint board meeting will go ahead on Thursday, November 18th. Financials will be a little less robust just because we won't have everything from system design that early in the month, but that's fine.
And there will be a quorum there with Lori and Sam and everybody, but Jim and I should not be there.
Okay. And we'll touch base with all the directors, make sure that they'll be present, but that's fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. Okay, moving on in our agenda. First of all, I just wanted to thank all the directors and my staff and personnel here for all the kind words and thoughts and prayers. This month started out so great with the birth of our granddaughter, and then to lose my father 2 weeks ago was a big shock. But thanks for all the support, and Matt and Dina did a fantastic job covering everything that I needed to do. But I just want to thank everybody for all your kind words and thoughts and prayers. And now we go on to the director's comments. Would any directors like to make a comment?
Director Spade would like to say something, please.
Director Spade.
Yes, I just want to make a comment about the amazing story that was in the record there that you passed out to us about the young man in the ATV that had the accident, that expressed his mother wrote that letter. That letter should have been a full-page advertisement in the newspaper, because I tell you, even reading that, you get teary-eyed and get emotional about it because the way she wrote that from personal mom's perspective. And I think that was a great story there that probably should have been shared with the community, and just to show what our paramedics can do when they need to do something like that. That's amazing.
Absolutely, you are correct. We get these letters, so many of these letters, it's really uplifting to read those and the impact that the men and women of Western Lane and Sayusa Valley Fire and Rescue have on our community. But well said, Director Spade.
That would be something that would be really good. I think we've talked about having some sort of newsletter out to the community. That'd be something great to share with the community, and in that vein, where the majority of the people would get that word. You know, most people, or a lot of people, don't subscribe to the newspaper, don't listen to the radio. So in this
correct.
community, it's difficult to communicate with people. But if we had a mailer that went out periodically with a newsletter, I think we could get stories out like that to support our cause.
Yes, I agree. Director Murphy.
I would like we all think about meeting in person as soon as we can. We have plenty of space upstairs to meet with the boards, not have public. We would still be socially distancing safely and let the public attend by Zoom meetings. We can get a lot more done face to face, I believe, than in a Zoom meeting.
I think we can do that starting November. If any director would still like to Zoom in, we'll have that opportunity because we'll have the owl up there. We'll be recording the meeting, offering it to the public. So unless some director is terribly against that for some reason, I think we'll plan on the November. We'll start in November, coming back in person for the directors.
May I make a suggestion, Chief Schick?
Of course.
Make it in December because I can't make it in November.
We need to meet in person for the strategic planning meeting.
I'm totally in favor of what John said, face to face.
Sir, you can Zoom in, Mr. Burns.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll start. Plan is still to start in person, offering in-person meetings in November.
Yeah, Dr. Holbrook and Vanessa are laughing, smiling. I'll be fine.
Okay, other director comments? Director Burns.
Very proud of our firefighters and our EMTs.
As am I. Very, very, very good. Director Webb.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Go
ahead.
You got me? Okay, question. How are we seeing an EMT shortage on our side? Are we having a hard time hiring people? It looks like it's a nationwide problem right now. So that's something I had.
We have not had an issue. I think we just hired Kylie. She was, a person that just finished paramedic school, but a lot of her instructors are paramedics from Western Lane Ambulance District. So we recognized her as being, the cream of the crop from LCC. We had 5 applicants for the one position. Pretty much we were going with people we knew or internal candidates from our part-time pool. So we're not seeing a problem now. I can't say that will continue to happen, but our part-time pool, people want to work here and they are real interested in coming and being part-time to be possibly be considered for a full-time position. But no, we haven't seen that yet. We've been lucky. Director Murphy, yes, sir.
Mike, I don't think we'll ever have a problem when we are a premier agency, have the reputation we have. I think we'll always have people applying.
I just I read the article. I wanted to make sure we had something in the record of where we were.
Yeah.
You're not far off. There are some hits, not only just in the state, but they're nationwide too. There's several articles that are going around. I know that Eugene is looking at hiring something, and their numbers that went through is significantly lower than they normally would be on an average hiring process.
Right, and I look at the quality of the candidates. We had several absolutely great candidates. So that's always good to see. And we don't have many openings either, but we've had a few of these this past year. So director comments. That is it for the meeting. Then we have a regular joint board meeting November 18th. It'll be in person at Station 1 at 6 p.m. And then we also have the strategic plan steering committee. Oh, we're going to be looking for different dates for that, but we'll let everybody know what our different dates are. So thanks, everybody. Short and sweet meeting tonight, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you,
Thanks,
Dina.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Chief.